We grow really intensely on about a half an acre. And that includes all of our covered spaces and indoor spaces as well. I knew a farmer that lived here. I knew Crosshatch was here, Island at the time, and then a couple musicians that were from this area. And I thought, if I can find a home here, I think we can too. We grow year round, so we've got indoor hoop houses that we grow in, unheated tunnels that have lettuces and greens and stuff that we harvest up until about Christmas. And then we grow indoor microgreens and mushrooms through the winter. That keeps us pretty busy until spring kicks off, and then we fire up our greenhouse and start growing in there. The mushroom thing, 100% Patrick's thing. He bought me one of those little mushroom kits to start with. And he's like, no one else is growing mushrooms up here, so why not just tinker with it and try? We sort of set up a little room in our basement and sealed it off and just tried growing oyster mushrooms to start. And with some minor success and some like crazy smells that we were like, oh, we got to get this out of here and get a better system going. Over time, we've built this whole other space inside of our pole barn, and that's now like a climate-controlled, temperature-controlled space. So we started with the oysters and had some really good consistency with those, and we found there were these other mushrooms that were working in that same environment, and so we thought, okay, well, let's try lion's mane and see how that works, and let's try, chestnuts and pio mushrooms we've done before. We also grow shiitake, both pink and yellow oyster mushrooms seasonally. There are a lot of people that grow mushrooms on logs and things like that, and we've just found it easier to be growing indoors so that we have like a consistent setup, but that doesn't mean that the weather doesn't impact what we grow, because we're still pulling in fresh air, and the temperature and humidity fluctuates from season to season, and you're still having to deal with all of those different pieces as the year evolves. We generally try to sell all of our mushrooms within the week, and then harvest as the next batch comes. Patrick is basically like building mushroom bags every single week throughout the whole summer and winter. We usually have this like backup log of all these like spent mushroom bags that we haven't been able to like break down and compost up by the end of the season. And we got to go through and like open them all up, get them ready for the compost. And we did that. And we had like just a beautiful day and warm rain, and it was just like going back there, gorgeous, just like mushrooms popping left and right. It was just like a work of art. It was really cool. A lot of our best learning is just from local people. So you can learn a lot from a book, but it's not going to be specific to your area, or there's going to be nuances that like aren't really, well described in a book that's happening in another, part of the country. So for the most part, it's just been asking friends, like, what do you do about this bug? Or what do you do about that weed? Or where do you source this compost? Farming has really like helped us feel connected here in this space and in this community and in this region, and for that I'm grateful. If you're gonna be surrounded by people, may as well like be surrounded by people that support your craft and support you. Pat and I got into this because we really wanted a homestead, and we wanted to grow food for ourselves and like provide for ourselves. The joy in that is a lot different than the joy in like scaling farming and like growing for a lot of people. On the one hand, you want to have a successful business, and then on the other hand, you want to, just be good to the earth and, do all of these like best practices and things like that. And so like you're always kind of striking that balance, but just finding that like space where the joy is, where you're not overextending yourself into just trying to provide and provide and provide and provide and losing the meaning. I think our biggest growing point is like actually editing down the farm. I think like probably most growers, when they start out, we just try to do everything, like everything under the sun that sounded exciting. And we did none of it well. So every year we've cut back, and every year we've been more successful. But yeah, I mean, when the pandemic hit, we cut out like 2 farmers markets and just streamlined our sales process a little bit more, picked up more wholesale. We cut back like 1/3 of our growing space, and it was our best year. And then this year we've done the same. We've just cut out a little bit more, streamlined a little bit more of the sales aspect of it, and we've been doing just as well. So it's the editing is the important piece. Being outside and like staying physically active and getting to grow food, that feels really rewarding. But yes, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And sometimes that's easy to forget. Herons and ducks and all sorts of different birds are attracted to this space, especially in the spring. It's cool to look out and see like pair of geese fighting the other geese. Like every spring, there's like, we call it the Great Turtle Migration. We've got these snapping turtles that'll go up to the road to lay their eggs like alongside the road. So you look down the road and there's like 6 or 7 giant snapping turtles by the road. What are they doing? It's like, that's beautiful. And you know, we see all sorts of wildlife here. I don't feel like there's a lot of farmers that get really excited when they're like, some for us, some for the birds. You know, it's like that's kind of how I feel. We don't use any sprays, like not even organic sprays, nothing like that. Some years there's just going to be bugs. Who am I to say that they can't eat too, you know, or deer? I know that's not like the farming mentality, I guess. We're always just trying to strike a balance, I think, between some for us, some for them. I think a CSA share is probably the easiest and best way to support a farmer. And if you're not involved in a CSA share and you're like shopping at a farmer's market, like ask the farmer what they're excited about or what they have the most of, what they like to cook. Go to restaurants that source local food. Our restaurants support us really well. We try to support them back. If you go to a restaurant and buy the food that we sell them, they buy more. And then we can keep doing what we're doing.